Welcome, Handled with Care community. I'm so happy to have you here in this cozy office of Betsy's. I am here and I am joined by Betsy Powers, a local somatic psychologist whose work centers on anchoring the nervous system, not overriding it. And before, and like always, you know the guests that I bring on, it's always a vibe. So thank you so much for having me, Betsy.
I'm happy to be here.
I'm very excited about this conversation. As I've shared with you, Handled with Care, we've been focused on stress management this month and really focusing on how we can integrate habits and practices into our daily life, because it's chaotic.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah.
So I love to get a more in-depth academic perspective that is still centered in somatic healing. So like you're the perfect bridge between both. So
Thanks.
yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Is a home to all of us, really. Like, we're made to live in our bodies and know what we need.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been disconnected from it, but it really is home base. And so it's really just calling on this natural internal knowing. Like, you know what you need. You know when your heart starts to beat fast or when you start to feel tired. It's just like turning the lens that goes this way,
Mm-hmm.
occasionally, because that will just build on itself.
Mm-hmm.
Changes in the mind happen really slowly. And I like to say you have to kind of come in the back door. It's why diets don't work. It's too much change too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And our brain loves things to stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if you try something new and it works well, your brain will still be like, let's go back to the way things were just because that's the way things are.
Mm-hmm.
So if it works, you just do a little bit different. Right? When I talk to people who speak unkindly to themselves, I'm like, just toss something nice at yourself occasionally. You aren't going to get a word in on the negativity, but if you can toss something kind at it, it will begin to change the pattern itself.
Right.
So often in our lives, for lots of good reasons, we cut ourselves off from our body because we had to sit in classrooms, or we had to drive around in cars, or fly on airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had to stop ourselves from moving and expressing ourselves in lots of ways. And thus we cut ourselves off from our body and don't even know what's going on unless it's like a big feeling. And so in my practice, it's about reacquainting a person's body with them so that they can know, I'm feeling tired. Things as simply as that. Or I'm feeling comfortable, or I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling sad. And just helping people to know what they're feeling and when, and then being curious about, what do I need? What does my body need as an organism?
Right.
Because we're made to function just like animals, making noise and moving and sleeping when we need to. And the lives we live as human beings are so unnatural that we just aren't well adapted to it in some ways. So we have panic attacks, or we have to check out with TV or shopping or alcohol or weed or porn or whatever.
Right.
And so it's much of my work is about just returning us to ourselves, how we're made to function. I don't know anybody that isn't living and doing more than one human person should be doing. Right,
yes,
exactly.
Absolutely. We take on so much and it's become normal.
Yes.
And
people in our society beat themselves up to try to motivate themselves. We've known that forever, but what we know scientifically now is that it's not motivating, it's paralyzing. It doesn't make people want to do better, it just makes them feel bad. And so we're going to try to switch that voice inside to be like, what if you had a kind mother inside of you? And maybe your mother wasn't kind, but we're trying to add somebody in there who's nice.
Right.
And be like, what do you need? And then have that be the voice that's inside of everybody eventually.
So how can we begin to shift from the narrative that being anxious is a personal failing that you need to hide, to getting to the point that, okay, my anxiety is letting me know that I need to slow down and perhaps get more in tune with what's happening inside of me or around me that's triggering this.
Exactly right. I mean, I think that that's something that I try to pose to everyone is like, what if this is wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what if being stressed is just a signal of like, I don't actually like being around this person.
Right.
This person makes me anxious.
Right.
Right? This like food upsets my stomach. That there's no like personal failure, I think, is sort of, it's like when you drive off into the ditch. You're like stuck. It doesn't get you anywhere to think that it's something that we're doing wrong. Because in my experience, most people are doing the very best they can with what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's almost without exception.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's the case, if we assume that you're doing the best you can, then you can invite curiosity. Like, why am I stressed? What is going on? You know? But what you're describing is just this sort of natural thing. Like, I should have my shit together.
Right.
Which just, like, isn't possible.
That's the narrative.
Right. Because it's not normalized in our society to be messy, but, like, that is our true normative human experience. The bigger portion of it is mess. We are stinky. We are imperfect. We are awkward. You know, all the things that are not like cool in having our shit together. Like that is a statistical anomaly that we shouldn't shoot for as a norm. It's just like when we get there, we should like feel lucky about it.
Yeah.
Be like, I looked cool.
Yeah.
But it's just not normal. We are messy creatures.
And
that's who we really are.
Wow.
And if we embrace it, then being a human's a little less embarrassing. Only a little.
Wow. And that, absolutely. Well, that is a beautiful way to close. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for reminding us that that we're okay as our messy selves. We're okay being
Who we really are.
Who we really are. And I think this conversation, that's the biggest takeaway I've gotten, is that we're actually very disorderly, and this society tells us to walk in a straight line, which is not how we're supposed to function. No. So it's a lot of learning that's going on, and just take it day by day. So that's my advice to myself. It's my advice to you. Thank you so much, Betsy, for this conversation. It has been very grounding, for sure. All right, until next time, handle with care. Thank you.